Let's talk, guys. We got to talk. We got to talk. We got to talk. We got to talk about Mauricio Ruffy, okay? And I really hate to do this, but I am going to go out and officially say that I think that Mauricio is overrated right now in the UFC. What is causing me to feel this way is obviously we've all seen, and I've even made a previous video about this. We've seen Mauricio come out and say he's going to make his way to the top and defeat Ilia Topuria by KO. That's all fine. I think it's great. Good for him, and I'm happy he's putting his name out there. He's definitely gotten a lot of buzz, and rightfully so. Now, the reason that I am saying he is overrated is solely based off of, obviously the chatter I've seen online. A lot of people saying that they think Mauricio Ruffy's going to give Ilya a great fight. And you know what? I would like to agree with that, but my opinion on that has been I would like to see more from Mauricio because at this point, he truly has not fought the elite of the elite, especially when we're talking about the lightweight division. I mean, he's coming off of a great highlight reel KO win over Bobby Green, King Green, but in reality, how much stock are we going to give that? Because if you've seen some other fighters who've also dispatched Bobby Green easily, they don't always tend to be that highly skilled of a fighter and go on to do the best of the best, right? So now Islam is, I think, a great example of the opposite there. He did beat Bobby Green and go on to do what he's done. But you also have like Jalen Turner, who was a very good fighter in his own right, but didn't even really get to see the highest parts of the rankings at lightweight, right? So I think that him getting the amount of shine and not necessarily shine, I think he deserves all of the praise and shine he gets, but for him to be beating King Green off of that win that he recently had in March to then be put in a title discussion is a little bit too fast and it's a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Now, what's further making me feel this way is on UFC 5. I love to play UFC 5. I usually get my ass whooped if I'm going into ranked. I do like to do online career, which I feel like I'm much better at now, and that's where I generally will play. But obviously, I also do some tournaments and things on that on the personal side, not online. Now, in doing so, I see Mauricio Ruffy's character in UFC 5 has a 4.5 out of 5-star rating. Okay. This is irritating to me because not only is he an unranked lightweight at this point in the UFC, obviously, yeah, he's the Brazilian variant of Conor McGregor, kind of looks like McGregor, has a style like McGregor. So clearly that's going to make people's heads turn, make them be more interested in his game. All fine and good. Agree with that. I think that there's a lot of parallels there. But to give him a 4.5 out of 5-star rating, and he is not even ranked in the lightweight division, makes me think he is being overrated, not only by fans, but also by those close to the UFC and like on the ESPN and EA Sports side of things. Like to have a 4.5 out of 5-star, and just to give you guys perspective, I do have Ilia Topuria pulled up here as well. I find it criminally weird and criminally overrated when Mauricio is sharing the same punch power as Ilia Topuria in UFC 5, and he literally has no like substantial KOs in the UFC yet with his hands. Like he got a flying knee finish on Jamie Mullarkey, which was like a knee and punches. But outside of that, he has not flatline KO'd anybody with his hands in the UFC yet. And Ilia Topuria, on the other hand, we've seen not only flatline KO Volk, but starch Max Holloway for the first time ever in UFC history, in Max's history, that is. And then also starch Charles Oliveira out cold with his hands. So why is a guy who's not even ranked in lightweight have the same punch power rating as Ilia Topuria? Like that to me is crazy. But I'm not even showing it here, but if you go and look at the game, Mauricio has a 4.5 out of 5-star rating, which is only shared by elite fighters in the lightweight division, such as Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway. And then even outside of the lightweight division, I'm seeing that there's, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman are all 4.5 out of 5 stars. And Mauricio Ruffy's now a 4.5 out of 5 star. And guys, that should tell you everything you need to know. If he is now being compared to and on the same level playing field as guys who've already not only won a belt, but defended a belt multiple times, and he hasn't even become a ranked UFC fighter yet, that should tell you everything you need to know about him being overrated. Now, I'm saying he's currently overrated, not because I don't think his skill is there, more so because I feel like we have yet to see him test that skill against elite opposition. Like, until he gets in there with someone who is on the same playing field from a striking standpoint, how can we say he is this good, right? He's fought guys where I feel like the matchups have been in his favor because of his striking style, but like, how are we going to really put him on the same level playing field as some of these guys who are already proven, tested, and done these things? That is my whole opinion on this. It's not to shit on his game, because I do think he's a very great fighter. I think he's very talented. He has a really, really dynamic striking style, very powerful as well in his hands and his feet. But I just don't like to see him being put on the same stratosphere or same like level as guys who have been there and done that, especially given that I feel like at this point, his record in the UFC doesn't necessarily point to him having comparable stats, especially from a punching perspective, with Ilia Topuria. That's just like my main piece of evidence here. Like, to see that Ilia has the same punch power as him in UFC makes no sense to me, because if you really look at their resumes and what they've done, Mauricio Ruffy has not done anything with his hands in his recent fights in terms of getting KOs, whereas Ilia is on a 3-fight KO streak with his hands. Like, how are those on the same level? I really don't understand. What I'm going to show you guys next is Mauricio's current record, showing you guys kind of what I'm talking about, just to give you some more information here. All right, guys, what I got pulled up here is Mauricio Ruffy's current record in the UFC, going back to his Contender Series fight all the way through his KO over King, Bobby Green, Gang Green, whatever you want to call him. And as I mentioned, taking a look at this, and obviously when I was talking about his hands, I was not mentioning his Contender Series fight, because I usually don't count the Contender Series fight, as it is not actually factored into like UFC record in terms of a fighter's success in the UFC. It's kind of like that entry fight into the UFC. So obviously he got some ground and pound in round 3, but over a guy like, obviously he had a great record, but at the same time, we don't know. No one really knows that guy that well. I would say. Now, I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying, like, he's not a well-known like prospect or anything of that nature. Now, Jamie Mullarkey gets a flying knee and punches to win that fight. Great win for him. But Jamie Mullarkey, guys, like, he has been good in the past, but I mean, as of recent, I mean, look at 17-7, 17-8 after this fight. So I don't really know what we write home about there. He has a win over James Lonsop, unanimous decision, so he didn't finish him. And then his most recent win is over King Green with a spinning heel kick. So this is exactly why I said I feel he is overrated. How do you give someone the same stats as a guy who's literally starched several people out cold in that same division? Like, I don't understand it, especially not only starching people out cold, but starching out legends of this game cold. And he has yet to do that. And so this is where I'm coming from with my take. I do think he is currently being overrated. And until we see him go up against the elite opposition of the lightweight division, then and only then will I be able to, subscribe to the idea of him being a very highly rated fighter, especially in the video game of UFC 5. Now, it is just a video game, so whatever, right? But I think that rating tells us a lot, actually. It tells us that people are pushing him and thinking he is at this level that perhaps he might not be at. And really, we won't know until that time comes. And so that's where I'm saying it's right now, he's overrated if you're looking at his record because he doesn't have those elite opposition wins. And even if he goes out there and starches out Benoit Saint Denis, it's a great win for him. But it's still, to me, it doesn't tell us if he's on that level. Like, let's put him in there with another heavy-handed striker and see what happens. Like, let's put him in there, and I wish I could say Drew Dober because Drew Dober is, the Crimson Chin himself. But given that Dober just got starched out, like, I want to see him go up against a durable lightweight who can hang, right? So, okay, let's just think about this. Esteban Ribovic, great fighter. Let's put Ruffy in there with him. Let's see how he fares in a hand-to-hand combat fight with someone like that. Or Elvis Brenner, who we saw obviously just go up against Esteban Ribovic and have a great showing, have durability. I really want to see him go up against someone who's got that durability level where they will be able to withstand a few shots, but also land some of their own. And that's where we're really going to get to see, like, is he overrated? Is this rating deserved? It's a great metric for us as fans to see who the UFC is highly touting and who they feel is up next, if you will. And for him to be a 4.5, 5 out of 5 stars with 0 ranked wins and being on the same playing field as guys like Max Holloway, who's literally not only won the belt, but defended the belt at a lower weight class, BMF champ. You guys won't give that credit, but like what I'm saying is he needs to get more wins and show us more as fans before I think he should be given this amount of credit and poise, if you will. So that is my opinion, guys. Now, I would love to hear from you guys how you feel about this. Do you think that he's a bit overrated? I know he has flashy KOs, but at the same time, I feel like we have to dig into, like, yeah, you have a great KO, but who's it over? And like Bobby Green's literally been KO'd a lot in his recent years. So it's like his durability is not necessarily there anymore to where he can withstand shots like that. I would love to hear how you guys feel about this. Do you think that he's overrated? Do you think the UFC has it right? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed, and please subscribe to Fite Feed if not already, so you can stay on top of all the new MMA content that I will be posting. Thank you guys so much again, and I will see you in the next one.